So this is just me with my thoughts and a camera, wanting to talk about something that stopped me from working on my household chores that I was working on earlier. As someone who does struggle, but I make it work, and I see others that make it work. I was actually in the middle of hauling in a secondhand dresser for my son. It fits so perfectly with the baseball theme that I'm going with, and I was just cleaning it, and I have extra hardware that I want to replace, and I can't wait to show that, but maybe we'll see how that goes. I'm still putting it together, but I had my earbuds in and I was listening to music, podcasts, and I was then changing to listening to reels. And so I could have sworn that I have been selecting that I'm not interested in this specific influencer, Mr. Lindsay. I know that I've been selecting not interested, and yet these videos do come up on my feed. Maybe for a reason. I just couldn't sit quiet on this topic, and a lot of people have opinions around it. And so, as someone who already sits comfortably in front of a camera, I wanted to speak up to the families who are ignored, who are dismissed and disrespected. These are for the families who are considered in poverty, for the families who don't make much money, and yet continue to have children. This is to respond to, your stereotypical just response, and everyone just says how rude, how ignorant, how irresponsible of you to continue to have children knowing you're broke, knowing you don't have money, knowing you can't support, when honestly parents do support, parents can provide. And that's where I just wanted to show a different side, show my opinion and my thoughts, to just push back on this topic. I believe topics are open for conversations, and so this is just my conversation. I want to start off to say that Mr. Lindsay, I'm sure, cares about children, and I know that they're the influencers that talk about bad parenting or just talk about judging parents in general slightly do care about children. I can say that. I'm not considering that these people are bad. Honestly, I think Mr. Lindsay is frustrated and it's taking it out on parents, but I just don't really appreciate or agree with the approach that he's making it, and I find it just disrespectful, and I just find it one-sided, and I find it harmful. So like I said, I just don't think that this is about you not caring about kids or these influencers not caring about kids. I can hear it slightly, but I just think that it's in the dark, and so I want to bring light, and light shines over darkness, and so that's why I'm also here. This specific video was about finding parents so irresponsible and so foolish for bringing more lives into this world, even though that they are struggling or may not have as much money as others. So that's the video that I listened to, and it pretty much honestly it made me upset. Here I am, frugaling, working hard, making it work to still provide for my son, and here I am still trying to teach good values to put into my son. I'm feeding my child. Here I am, and here I see so many families working so hard and providing, and they're giving little, even knowing that they don't have much to give, yet they still give. And so this is definitely just about that one solid topic right now. I might kind of diverse it a little bit, but it's just because it's so nuanced, and that's just what it is. I just want to say that I've seen families in poverty that give more, and so bear with. I have papers in front of me. I did try to have a rough draft, so I do have a lot of opinions still locked in my head, but I'm trying to get it from point A to point B for you. From experience and from witnessing from other states that I've lived in and in the current state that I'm in, I've seen families who are in poverty that give more than families who have plenty. I've seen these families show more resourceful skills. They're more open, they're more thoughtful, and they can provide a safe home to their children. I've watched a handful of kids who come from these type of families run out to their doors to welcome their guests, whether it's family visiting, I can speak for myself. Every time I visit my family, all of my siblings run out that are still living there. are running out and they are offering their hands, asking if I need help, if there's anything to unload, if there is anything that they can do. And they're just greeting me. And I've seen so many other children do that. They're so welcoming and open arms, and they're vocal, and they offer help. And they were taught manners. They were taught that they weren't given everything, and it's okay that they don't receive everything. Thus, it feels okay to give to people, to others. When someone who has given everything, it's really hard for them to not give back. I've just seen that hands in hands. It's not all the cases. I've seen very wealthy people who are good-hearted people, but I've seen vast majority of others who have it all, who don't give it all. They stay in their bubble. They honestly don't give to the community, and it's just so backwards the way you've approached this. I'd say the families who are in poverty, these parents give so much with what little they have. They give kindness, they give grit, they give grace, they give patience. They know how to put themselves in other people's positions, and I think those are more valuable than having a white picket fence, than having so much money. I can understand how having a budget and saving some money in preparation for emergencies, in preparation for unexpected bills or just costs, I can understand that. But when you put it in such a short video, I just don't feel like it's elaborating, or it's very nuanced, and I just don't find it inviting. I find it very just dismissive. I think that your video that you made was just very one-sided, and it was pushing out millions of families, lots of families, maybe not even millions. I hope not millions, because it can be stressful. However, it really does bring a lot of value and trait and kindness and heart when people are in a lifestyle where it's not about spending luxury, it's not about spending all your money on vacations or school activities, sports, or being able to afford a $400 grocery haul. It's completely okay if you don't do all of those things. It's okay that you are not in a 5-bedroom home. It's okay if you don't have a white picket fence. It's definitely okay for you to grow your family and to just give what you can give. And if you're just honestly with all God's and grace, I think is what I find more valuable than someone who can afford their kids' college, who could afford a car for their kid, who can pay for all of the kids' wants and needs. I find that it just tends to just really become one-sided. It becomes selfish, it becomes greedy, it becomes judgy, and it just honestly starts to divide, and it just starts to lose humanity in other people who are human. I see those type of family members ignoring the other families that are feeding neighbors and they're raising beautiful children. Those are the families that I see, and the ones that have all of this money don't see those. I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying vast majority, just from observation and being in one and working in so much retail, just being out there in society. And now clearly on the internet, I can see that there is very little respect. There's very little respect for the families who give so much. So I just want to say that this message is for you, for the ones who don't get heard, the ones who don't get respect, the ones who don't get praised on. I don't understand why. I sort of understand why videos like this are just so fast and so, popular. Because it's giving that darkness. It's giving what people want when truly it's not what we should be focusing on. I can understand a little bit why that's happening. It is so sad that I see figures of amounts of people liking this idea that it's okay to bash people for continuing to grow their family. And I find it so important to speak about it because it's not only doing that, it's giving another reason why people choose abortion. They use that as an excuse to want to end a life. rather than seeing how life is beautiful and seeing how these lives are on the earth, walking with all of us, next to us, living next to us. They're seeing that these type of people are not beautiful and they're not valuable enough. That is what you get when you watch just a short, noisy video. I don't feel like you're elaborating enough. I hope that you have behind the scenes care or a plan to give more than what you're doing, than just ranting. I hope you're doing more than what I've just seen. I really honestly don't know Mr. Lindsay that very well. I just know that he's a teacher. He likes to have a response about parents. Him and influencers, including those who are possibly making money off of it, giving opinions about parenting. And honestly, I just don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough to cut your face into a video and just go, yeah, what this person said. I don't feel like that's helping. I think that is just spiraling noise, and I just don't think that's what our children need. I don't think that's what people need. I don't think people need these viral snippets that are just so one-sided. I just think that kids need more than viral opinions. I think that they need real support, they need real patience, they need real guide. But I'm just wanting to speak up for the families that are way too busy taking care of their children and their families and might not have that ability or capability to be able to speak up. Maybe they're just too busy, or they want to ignore it. However, your platform is bringing in so many views and so much exception to just dismiss big families, and it's giving a lot of people a reason to have an abortion. And I don't think it's okay to end lives over that. I also wanted to end this letting just all of you family members know that I have so much respect for you and God sees you. And I want to end this with a verse. This is going to be, this is Luke chapter 21, verses 1 through 4. It says, "He looked up and saw rich people putting their gifts into the treasury. He also saw a poor widow put into small copper coins." Just 2 small copper coins here. He said, "Truly, I tell you this, poor widow has put in more than all of them. For all of them have contributed out of their abundance, but she, out of her poverty, has put in all she had to live on." So I hope you spread love and kindness, and I really hope that you are helping people out there.